You're gonna start this recipe off by putting these mozzarella sticks into these mini Manicottis. I like to call them Minicotis. Get that? Then we're gonna take this already cooked ground beef and we are gonna literally put it on top of these Manicottis stuffed with your mozzarella cheese. So a nice layer of that. And we're gonna save some for later. Now we're just gonna go ahead and spread this out evenly. We're gonna now come in with some of your favorite pasta sauce and just literally pour it on top of the ground beef that's been cooked. Now as we come with the spices, we have some oregano we're gonna sprinkle on there very generously, kind of coat the entire top of this. We have some pink Himalayan salt we're gonna just put on there with a ratcheting salt machine. And of course we got some black pepper. Now we have some shredded mozzarella cheese. We're gonna just kind of sprinkle it on top very gently. We don't need too much because the Manicottis are full of the cheese already. Now we're gonna come in with the rest of the beef we had saved and we're gonna go ahead and put that on top of this cheese. Just like that. Again, evenly spread that out. Come in with the rest of your pasta sauce that's left in the jar and sprinkle that on top of the beef and cheese. And we're gonna wanna save this for later. Now we're gonna take some whole milk ricotta and we're gonna go ahead and get an ice cream scoop of that. 2, 3 scoops of ricotta, 4 scoops of ricotta, and 5 scoops of ricotta cheese. We're now gonna smooth the ricotta out into the spaghetti sauce just like this to make a nice, even layer. Doesn't that just look beautiful? We're gonna come with some more of this oregano, sprinkle it on top of the ricotta cheese mixture. And I told you to save this. We're gonna take a 1.5 cups of water, pour it into the spaghetti jar, put the lid on, give it a couple shakes, and now we're gonna go ahead and pour this on to help cook the pasta in the crock pot. We're gonna set this on high and cook it for 3.5 hours, and it's gonna be so good. And then we're gonna top it with the rest of this cheese, and this water will soak down into the mixture, trust me. Okay, it has been 3 hours. Would you look at this? It looks delicious. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and mix this up, get everything combined. Oh my God, it smells so good. It smells wunderbar. Oh my gosh, look at these. Just mixing this up, mixing all the goodness together. Now we're gonna go ahead and get a nice spoonful. Well, that was a weak spoonful. There we go. And I got this fresh Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle that on top, down the hatch. Today we're making something amazing in the crock pot. These are chicken thighs, it's about 2 pounds. So we're gonna go ahead and throw those in, mix them up. Bone broth, chicken bone broth. We're gonna pour about 2 cups in there, which is, I don't know, about half of this. 1/4 cup of cornmeal or corn flour, whatever you wanna call it. We're just gonna go ahead and sprinkle that over the chicken. Ginger, do it to your taste. So that's about what I like ginger-wise. Then we're gonna go ahead and take some of this honey. I like to use this blossom honey when possible. And we're just gonna go ahead and squeeze a good amount on there. Excuse me. Then we got some garlic powder. We're gonna go ahead and sprinkle that on too. You can use minced garlic if you want, but I just don't feel like chopping it up. Yellow bird sriracha, because why not? It's gonna add a little spice to it.
I'm very intrigued.
You should be intrigued. And then we're gonna turn the slow cooker on high and we're gonna cook it for 4 hours. Now we're gonna add this broccoli to the mix and we're gonna put this in here for 15 more minutes. And then we're gonna get on to the next step. So it'll steam up and cook the broccoli. Boom.
Ooh, look at all that color.
So now that the broccoli is cooked, we can kind of shred the chicken up a little bit. So that's what we're doing right now. Get the chicken nice and shredded and mixed in with the broccoli.
Oh man.
And right now we're gonna take this soy sauce. And we're gonna kind of put a generous amount of soy sauce in there. Okay, and again, mix that around. Get the chicken shredded up. This next step is gonna blow your mind. I don't think you're ready for this next step. So we actually have a pack of top ramen. We're gonna open this up. We're not gonna use the chicken packet that comes with it, but we're gonna actually place the noodle in there.
What?
Yep, and then we got 1, 2, 3.
So this is really cheap.
4, 5, yeah. And we're just kind of push them down so they.
And healthy.
Well, healthy-ish, yeah.
I mean,
for the most part, if you don't eat all the noodles.
Better than chicken nuggets.
So just push these in, and we're gonna cover back up, and in a couple minutes, they will be ready. Okay, the reveal. Boom. So now we just kind of mix it up. Look at this, look at the noodles, how they cooked.
Perfect.
Perfectly. So you just kind of mix them into the chicken and the broccoli. And again, you don't have to put this many noodles in there if you don't want to. I went overboard, not gonna lie.
We have a really hard time in this family gauging serving size.
Get some of that broccoli.
When it comes to noodles.
Get some of that chicken. Oh baby. Maybe a little bit more broccoli. And this is gonna feed me for probably like 3 days, honestly. Let me first taste the chicken and the noodles. Oh, these noodles, there we go. Oh my God. We have this jumbo lobster tail from the seasoned cart from South Africa. And then we're gonna go ahead and place that in the bottom of a greased crock pot. And we're gonna actually take this full box of these fancy Cabavari noodles and throw them on top. I'm gonna go ahead and take my gloves off. We're now gonna come in with 2.5 cups of whole milk and just drizzle that over the entire dish. And this is gonna actually cook these noodles, and oh, you're not gonna need water for this. It's gonna be the most decadent mac and cheese you've ever had. We're now gonna take half of this container of the heavy whipping cream and pour that on top as well. So there we go. We're also gonna take 1/4 of a cup of AP flour and just kind of drizzle it on top of this mixture. Oh, nice. Yeah, that AP flour, that's where it's at. And we're gonna take about a teaspoon of onion powder, so that's about that. We're gonna take a teaspoon of paprika. You can use smoked if you want. And then we're gonna take a teaspoon of onion powder. Sprinkle that on. And we also have a 1/2 cup of Gruyere cheese.
Ooh,
we're gonna,
that's the good stuff.
That's that fancy stuff from somewhere, imported.
That smells really good.
And then we have a 1.5 cups of that sharp cheddar. And then we're just gonna go ahead and sprinkle that on top, and it is looking great. Okay. Now we're gonna just go in with some tongs, and we're just gonna go ahead and mix this whole thing up, get everything incorporated, congealed together, and then we're gonna actually fish out the lobster tail, pun intended. We're gonna go ahead and set it on top of the mac and cheese. Now we have this butter hack for you. You're probably thinking, why do I have a sausage cutter for butter? Well, you're gonna put the butter in there, and you go like this, and you just, ready?
Yeah.
Are you seeing what it's doing?
Whoa.
It's literally making this butter the perfect slices.
That is satisfying.
Yeah. Then we're gonna take about a 1/2 stick of that butter that's already sliced up, and we're gonna place a couple of them on top of the lobster tail, because lobster goes great with butter. And then we're gonna go ahead and paste the rest evenly into the mac and cheese mixture, just like that. And then we're gonna finish it off with some Old Bay seasoning. We're gonna sprinkle a little bit on top of the lobster and a little bit like this, and we're gonna cook it on low for 3 hours, and we'll be right back. Okay, it's been 3 hours. Look at this. It's a thing of beauty. We're gonna go ahead and pick this lobster tail up, and we're gonna go ahead and give it a little cut down the belly, okay? And then we're gonna give it a cut down the top of the shell. These kitchen shears are like cutting through this lobster like butter.
That smells good, that Old Bay.
Oh, it does. You could smell this right now.
Oh my gosh.
And there you go. You just kind of break that off, and you're gonna be left with a big, nice piece of flaky meat. Oh my gosh. Now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna cut this into little bite-sized chunks. And you can mix this in if you want with the mac and cheese. But we're actually gonna leave it on top because we're gonna be eating this right now. So each scoop is gonna have about the same amount of lobster chunks on it. This is some of the best lobster you can get, the South African lobster. The flavor is actually infused into the mac and cheese just from the lobster being on top when cooking it. Everything just dripped in, and just trust me. We're actually gonna level this up. We have some fresh parsley. We're gonna go ahead and just go ahead and give it a little bit of color and a little bit of flavor.
Those scissors are crazy.
Yeah, it's got like four little scissors in one. It's meant for herbs and spices in the kitchen. Now we're gonna bring our bowl over, and we're gonna get a nice serving. We got the lobster in there. We got the mac and the cheese. Oh, the parsley. Don't be shy. Okay, and now the moment I've been waiting for. It's cheesy, it smells wonderful. This is it. Like, this is how you should eat lobster. This is how you should eat mac and cheese. Super easy. You saw how easy that was. Highly recommend this recipe. I give it a 10 out of 10. Give it a shot. Good. We are going to start this recipe off by putting 4 nice pieces of beef into the crock pot, just like so. Spread them out evenly, just like this. We're going to go ahead and take our meat tenderizer, give them a couple pokes. This is gonna help get the juices flowing. Now we're gonna come in with an entire chopped up red onion. We're gonna go ahead and dump that all over your beef. Onion's gonna bring out the flavor like no other thing can. I now have 1 cup of bone broth, beef bone broth. We're gonna drizzle over the entire crock pot mixture. Look at that. And we have this red wine vinegar. We're gonna go ahead and take the whole pint and dump it in. This is gonna just give you amazing flavor, and your house is gonna smell wonderful after this. So we can't forget our Worcestershire sauce. I think I said that right, low sodium kind. We're gonna go ahead and give it a couple shakes. We don't want too much of this. I would say maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons at the most. I now have this can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. We're gonna go ahead and put the entire can in there. These are so good, guys. Now it's time for the spices. We have some salt. We're gonna go ahead and put about a tablespoon of salt in there, or to taste, depending on how salty you like it. You can always add more later. We have some garlic powder we're gonna go ahead and toss in. Just sprinkle that over the top. We have some chili powder. We're gonna go ahead and dump in just like this. Oh my gosh, if you could smell this right now. And we can't forget good old fresh ground black pepper. There we go. Now we're gonna take our tongs and we're gonna give this a nice little mix so we can get the juices under the meat and get all the flavors combined. But we are not done yet. I have Yukon Gold and red potatoes. We're gonna go ahead and dump those in. This is gonna give you a nice hearty feel to this dish. And of course, we can't forget our chopped up baby carrots. We're gonna dump a whole bag in there too. And again, we're gonna come in with the dongs and we're gonna go ahead and mix that up so we get them all combined. Now the secret to this dish is you take bay leaves. We're gonna take 3 of them, 1, 2, 3 bay leaves, set them on top. We're gonna set this bad boy on low and we're gonna cook it for 8 hours. And when we see you back, you are gonna be in heaven. Okay, it's been 8 hours. Would you look at this? The bay leaves you do not wanna eat, so we're gonna go ahead and take those out. But look at the potatoes are cooked perfectly. The carrots are cooked perfectly. Let's go down here and fish out one of these steaks. Oh, falling apart just like it should be. So look at that, just perfect. Now this, that was my daughter clearing her throat. This is gonna be one of the best beef stew recipes you've ever had. So that's about a serving right there. So just so you can see the potatoes, how they're cooked. They cut perfectly. Carrots cut perfectly. And there's the beef, just a perfect. Everything's perfect. So now we're just gonna go ahead and give this a little taste. And you can put more of the juice in here if you want. But this is one of my favorite beef stew recipes I make. We're gonna start this recipe off by placing mozzarella sticks inside of these manicotti shells. Now layer 2, we are gonna take ground beef already cooked and we are gonna actually put it inside of the manicotti. Get them in there as good as you can and goes through the one side. And once you have that entire layer done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in with some provolone cheese, some mozzarella cheese, some provolone cheese, some mozzarella cheese, and some provolone cheese. And now we're actually gonna come in with some pasta sauce of your choice. And we're gonna just kind of dump it on this layer like this. Come in with some pepper, salt, fresh oregano. We're gonna sprinkle that on to taste. Fresh garlic right here. And we're just gonna go ahead and well, that kind of got away from me, but you get the point. We're now gonna come in with another layer of the cheese stuffed manicottis. So there's one, there's another one, there's 2 more manicottis. So we're just kind of layering this up kind of like a lasagna. I don't know if you want to call this a manicotti lasagna, but it's kind of what it is, a manicotti lasagna. So now that we have this layer down, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the remainder of this ground beef that we have and we're gonna kind of just sprinkle it over this layer of the manicottis. Nice and even. This is gonna give you a great flavor and great meaty taste is what everybody loves. I know I do. We're gonna come in again with the salt, some pepper, you guessed it, fresh oregano, some more of that fresh garlic. There we go. We're now gonna go ahead and dump the rest of this pasta sauce all over here, just completely covering this up like that. We also have 1.5 cups of water. This is gonna actually help with the cooking process of the manicottis. So we wanna go ahead and dump that into. This is gonna cook on high for 3 hours. We're lastly gonna cover this up with a mozzarella provolone combination. So that's what we're doing right here. This is gonna give you an amazing crust. Nice crunch, which most people like when they eat their manicotti pasta lasagna. So we'll see you when it's done. Okay, it's been 4 hours on high. Now we're gonna go ahead and get some of the meat, some of the cheese, some of the Manicotti. Oh, that is what I call lasagna from heaven. Look at that, guys, gals. And then of course we gotta put some fresh Parmesan cheese on there. Let's try to get some of the meat and some of the cheese. The Parmesan cheese, look at the cheese stretch on that from the cheese sticks. But this is a super easy recipe you can make, and it's gonna feed at least 10 people. Oh my God. 10 out of 10. Okay, we're gonna start off with 3 big breasts of chicken. Wonderful Parmesan garlic wing sauce. We're just gonna go ahead and squeeze it all out. Get as much in there as you can out of the bottle. Okay, just like that. So we have this heavy whipping cream, right? And we're just gonna go ahead and pour that in the bottle like so. We put the lid on and we shake it, you know, and then we go ahead and, oh, yes. Now we go ahead and take some of this black ground up pepper and sprinkle it on top like that. And of course, some kosher salt. We can always add more salt later, but we can never take some out. So that's about as much as we want. Now we're gonna just go ahead and mix this around so your chicken gets totally incorporated in this creamy, creamy sauce. Okay guys, now we have some cream cheese cubes. We're just gonna go ahead and put them in here. It's pretty messy, but you know, we don't wear gloves around here at this household. We don't believe in them. No gloves, no loves. So we're just gonna go ahead and throw that in there. The cream cheese is gonna make this so much more creamy. We're gonna go ahead and set this on high for 3 hours and we'll check back in with you. Okay, it's been 3 hours. We're gonna go ahead and take the lid off. Gonna give it a little stir. Look at the cream cheese broke up. Okay, that's the cream cheese. And now what we're gonna do is we are gonna take some bow tie noodles and we're gonna just go ahead and just plop those in. They're kind of stuck. I'm gonna go ahead and just hand it. There we go. Well, that was a fail. That fell and broke. We're gonna have to buy a new strainer. But anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and give those a good mix. And now we're gonna switch it to low for another couple hours. But look at this, it's looking delightful. Delightful. So good stir. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. We're taking the lid off. Now we're going to add 2 bags of shredded cheese, cheddar and mac and cheese. Just dump in there your bags. Give this another stir. Oh man, it's gonna be cheesy, cheesy goodness. So now we're gonna put the lid back on for another 30 minutes and the cheese will all be completely melted and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Okay, there you go. It's been another 30 minutes. Look at that. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, people. So we're gonna go ahead and get some chicken, some of the pasta, some of that cheese. Oh my God, I cannot wait to, God, the stretch on that. This looks like dinner for the family tonight. Okay, you should see the look on my wife's face right now. Give this recipe a shot, and we'll see you next time.